I can get his name right. His name is Konstantin Ponomarev. He's 30-0 with 12 KOs. He is who Errol Spence was supposed to be fighting to be the #1 contender for Kell Brook. Now, there's been some shady shit going on with the IBF. For example, Errol Spence, when he fought Chris Van Herden, I thought that was an IBF title eliminator. When he fought Alejandro Barrera, I thought that was a title eliminator. But now he was ordered by the IBF to fight Konstantin Ponomarev, who was a top-ranked fighter, by the way, but he hurt his hand from the news I'm hearing. Something happened where he's got hurt, so now the IBF has ordered Errol Spence to fight Leonard Bundu. Errol Spence announced on PBC on NBC during the Foolery telecast that he's going to be returning on PBC on NBC August the 21st, and it's going to be against Leonard Bundu. Now, Leonard Bundu has never been knocked out before, but Leonard Bundu, what is he, he's 31-2 with like 12 KOs or something like that. I remember because I did a lot of research on him when he fought Keith Thurman, and he went the distance with Keith Thurman and gave Keith Thurman some stylistic problems, not as far as Keith Thurman was never in danger, but he was kind of somewhat of an awkward fighter, and it is going to be a good stepping stone fight for Errol Spence. Now, we saw what he did to Chris Algieri. Remember, Amir Khan couldn't do it, Ruslan Provodnikov do it, and even Manny Pacquiao couldn't do it, and you saw he just ran through Chris Algieri. You know, he whooped his ass. So if he's able to stop, Leonard Bundu, that's going to be a good testament to him, especially since, him, well, not him, but more so Mayweather has been bringing up Keith Thurman's name a lot. Remember, Errol Spence is in a situation right now that Keith Thurman was in 2, 3, 4 years ago, where he was asking for the big names when guys like Robert Guerrero was like, who is Keith Thurman? Why would I fight him? So I can understand what Errol Spence is going through, but also it's been very clear over the last year for sure, year and a half, that he has been on the IBF Kell Brook path. He's been fighting IBF contenders. He's been fighting guys ranked by the IBF, and he has made it known that he will be going after Kell Brook. Well, here's the thing. Kell Brook's going to be fighting Jesse Vargas likely on September the 3rd. They're still working out the network stuff and the arena and everything like that, but pretty much the fight is a done deal, except it's not official yet that it'll be September the 3rd, but it's a 90% chance that it will. It looks like after that fight, Kell Brook may be moving to 154 pounds. Now, here's the thing. People are going to say Kell Brook is ducking him and all kind of things like that. I can understand to an extent, but also you have to understand that Kell Brook has been behind the scenes. It's been rumored, and from what I've heard from, as fucking Game of Thrones lore, Varys, I got little people over, little birdies, he's been having some troubles making 147 pounds. Now, overall, he's a very big dude, pause. But I believe this fight with Jesse Vargas may be his last at 147 pounds. There's also rumors that the reason why the Diego Chavez fight didn't happen is not because of the rib injury, but because of he was having trouble getting that weight off, and he probably would have likely maybe lost the belt on the scales. But none of this is confirmed, of course. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if he moves up to 154 pounds, especially with, the Charlo brothers looking a little not as dominant as they were, a year ago. And also with one of them moving up to 154 pounds, 160 pounds, you would have Liam Smith. That's this is an Errol Spence video, but I'm trying to give you the landscape. You have Liam Smith. You would have that IBF title up there free, but then he would probably have to likely fight Julian Williams for it. So it's looking like right now Kell Brook is in a tough situation, but I would be surprised if he fights Errol Spence. But when it comes to the IBF, even though it looks like they've been dicking him around a little bit, you will get your title shot. They will order that fight. So it's going to be interesting to see what Errol Spence is going to do, or, if they can throw a curveball in, and if Kell Brook beats Jesse Vargas, then he can go for another unification, because then he'll be the IBF and the WBO, go for another unification against Danny Garcia. And remember, a unification comes before mandatory, and then he can say, well, I fought, you know, I fought Jesse Vargas and Danny Garcia and move up. But, you know, I don't want to get too deep on you, because, you know, like with the politics, I can see some shit like that happening. But if you would have asked me my honest opinion, I don't see Kell Brook fighting Errol Spence. I would see him fighting Danny Garcia before he fights Errol Spence. You know, and you have to think about that. Remember, a unification comes before mandatory. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Yes, I'm back now. You know, I'm getting back to, you know, to getting these videos pumping out. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live.